Welcome everybody to Fight Logic here in the studio with our special guests, Urijah Faber and Tommy. How's it going, guys?
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
Thanks. Nice to have you guys here. Thanks for coming on down over here and visiting us in San Jose.
Oh, yeah.
So what brings you over here today?
Well, we got a bunch of our guys fighting, so I always love UFC, be a fan as well as a participant, but tonight especially we're going to have TJ Dillashaw, Joseph Benavidez, and Chad Mendes all putting on a show. So.
Awesome, yeah. We talked to them when we went and visited you out in SAC. Great guys. That's awesome. So what's the difference of being like a fan compared to like, you know, being ready to fight? Like,
for me, it's a lot more nerve-wracking. You don't have any control, so it's not as bad with Joseph and Chad and TJ because I have so much confidence in all the guys. But I mean, I know when I go out and fight that I have some say in it. You know, I get to perform and I get to know what's going on in my own head and everything else. And here it's just kind of like on the edge of my seat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so you're coming with your camp, and today we're going to be talking actually about MMA Draft. We got your book here. We're going to talk about that in our next segment.
Okay.
But yeah, so your camp, you know, you grow with these people, you grow your fighters, and it's awesome to see it. And now you guys are doing MMA Draft. What is that?
MMA Draft is basically a new website that we're doing, and it's based almost like Max Preps, for those who are familiar with maxpreps.com or rivals.com, which are geared more towards baseball, basketball, football, the main sports, and they cover the amateurs of the sport. So high school is Max Preps. It's all a database for high school athletes and their participation, and rivals.com is more for the college guys. But we're doing everything amateur about our sport. We're covering these kids that are coming up from a young age and following guys that are in their adulthood and just about to turn pro, and we're figuring out who the stars are, and we're getting storylines and getting information and giving them hints on the website. So it's pretty cool. And Tommy and I actually were friends in high school. He was a star in high school. He was the man. What the heck happened to him? But he and I wrestled and played football at different high schools, and we both went to UC Davis. And Tommy's kind of spearheading the operation and bringing this whole thing together with the concept.
Yeah, the first time I ever saw it, Tommy showed me on his iPad and showing me how it worked and everything. I was like, wow, this is awesome. That is perfect for someone that wants to come up and wants to learn. And have people like you guys to really push it. It's awesome. So you guys went to school together?
We went to school at rival schools.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever have to wrestle?
We did not.
No?
He knew better than that. We were different weights. I was always the littler guy. He was always the heavier guy. And then when we went to college, I was a 25-pounder. He was a 33-pounder.
We're the 1-2 punch in college. So, and so it was Tommy, and I'd be right after Tommy, and we were drilling partners and all that kind of stuff as well. And then Tommy's whole family's from Escalon, which is a tiny little hick town, and they're like the superstars there. So there's like 6 of them. They're all best athlete of the year and all that kind of stuff. So,
all flexing all the time.
So Tom's got a special spot for the wrestling and has been helping me run my life. And now he's full time on this gig, blowing it up.
So how did it start? How did it first? Like, how did you guys have the idea?
Well, it's funny. I mean, we all know that the sport's growing so fast, and there's really no kind of direction for these younger guys. I mean, you have parents out there that are thinking, they want their kid to be the next, instead of LeBron James and Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods, they're thinking they want him to be the next John Jones and Anderson Silva and Benson Henderson. So it's changed a lot, and the one thing that we don't have is direction for these kids. It's one thing to be like a tough kid. It's another thing to know, okay, what do I have to do to get my skill level up? In basketball and football and baseball, you know what you do. You play baseball, you play basketball, you play football. You go, T-ball, then you go on and on and on into high school and college and so on and so forth. For the MMA community, we really need direction, and that's what we're helping to do. We've got articles that are giving helpful hints on how to guide your career. We're covering kids that are doing all the different aspects of MMA, like wrestling and judo and all the amateur MMA circuits and stuff like that. And we're keeping an eye out so people can go on and update their own profiles. They can get helpful hints. They can watch techniques on the site. They can do all sorts of different stuff to help guide themselves in the right direction and see where they match up.
So it's basically kind of like a college prep, right? Because there is no college for MMA, and it's kind of you're doing that.
Yeah, I would say that.
One of the coolest aspects of the website is, I feel, is our database. What we're doing is we're collecting all the results from wrestling, submission grappling, all the sports that lead into mixed martial arts. So if you went to, let's say, your state wrestling tournament and you placed, and you went to your local submission grappling tournament and you placed, all those results will be on your profile. We can track what you have done, and it helps our scouts kind of take you and assess you.
Yeah, and we're still working out some kinks, and Tommy, that's what Tommy's troubleshooting every day and figuring things out, but we're trying to get a real tangible system to where we can say, okay, you place in these tournaments, you're awarded a certain amount of credit. If you're, if it's a wrestling versus judo versus jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, you may have a little bit more clout with what you accomplish. And we're going to try to figure that out, and we're going to mold it over time, and we're going to really make this thing work. And it's cool, man. There's a way for these kids to say, okay, this is where I match up. It's a sense of pride for anybody can be involved. If they're just doing jiu-jitsu, they can have a profile and talk about their jiu-jitsu accomplishments. It's a place for these kids to feel good and learn and get opportunity.
That's great. What's the youngest person that you guys have participating so far?
Oh, we have about 7, 8-year-olds.
7, 8-year-olds
that have created profiles, because people start at a young age now with the Naga and the submission grappling, so you can start at that young. And so if they feel that they would like to create a profile, they can do so.
Nice.
Yeah. We have a parent, parents can get on there and make the profiles for the kids, which a lot of times happens. And it's cool because we're going to have a history for these kids.
Right.
How many people out there would like to have watched me as a 7-year-old and be like, oh man, look at this little kid, and then see the whole progression and the whole storyline of how things came about. I mean, it's a cool thing. And, Tommy's now heading the project, but we have some awesome partners. It was actually Phil Davis and I that came up with the concept, and it was the second time that we met. We were actually at a fight. I think we were in either L.A. or Texas. I don't know. It's kind of different spectrums, but it was the second time that we ever met, and we sat down and talked, and we're talking about the future. And he was a national champion, and guys on our team like Lance Palmer and Chad Mendez, these guys are national runner-ups and standout athletes, and there's no real opportunity for them. And I was like, there's going to be a time when there's going to be a draft, and they're going to take the top wrestlers and the top jiu-jitsu guys and all this stuff, and Phil was like, going on about it, and I, as we're talking, I Googled MMADraft.com, and I said to Phil, I said, damn, MMADraft.com is still open. We should just do it ourselves. And he just looked at me and said, 50-50. And we shook hands. We went upstairs. We bought the domain name and started from there. So we've been really lucky. And we have a partner who's a big advocate. His name's Will Farah. And Will's company is...
He owns VA Mortgage Company, but he really supports the kids in mixed martial arts in general. He's done a lot for the sport, supports a lot of the fighters that are in the UFC right now. So he's come on board and help us out.
Yeah, he's not only a sponsor, he helps with his expertise. He's a great businessman and has a real passion for the sport. So he saw the vision, was like, got behind it. And so it's great to have somebody who, he's the one that helped us get the site all together. He's the one that's pointing us in the right direction in a lot of different ways. We're able to sponsor guys in the UFC because of him. And he actually does showdown fights in Utah. That's his organization. He has a fight gym, the Pit Elevated, out of Utah. So he has probably about 5 or 6 guys that are from his gym that fight in the UFC as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, like you said. You're going to be able to see these kids evolve and become the fighters that they will be. And not only that, like you said, it gives them a place where they can, get connected to everybody else and feel like a family. So they go on, they put up a profile picture. Is there what do they put pictures up, or is it?
Yeah, they can go on, they can sign up, they can put their own pictures on there, and they can put videos on themselves as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So it also does,
Right.
You said you could watch the videos, so you can actually upload your own videos of whatever tournament or whatever you're doing.
Right.
And there's a verification process with the site as well, and we have a system. So we have all the criteria. There's grappling, jiu-jitsu, striking, X Factor, and we have a key to describe to a person how they get to rank themselves. Have they competed on a structured team for over a year? Have they placed in the local tournament? Have they competed more than this time? And they can see, okay, yes, I have. Yes, no, I haven't, and kind of rank themselves and ask to be verified with our scouts.
Right, and once we get verified and once our database is complete, all the results will start to compile on their profile as well, so you can actually see it.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So what's the X factor? That's just like...
The X factor is, I think the criteria that we have now is their finish percentage. If we've got a guy who's an amateur and he's had so many matches and he's finished all of his guys, that's an X factor criteria. If he's been a star athlete in other sports and just pure athleticism, if he was a star football or baseball or basketball, that's some sort of X factor. I can't remember.
We have a little marketing involved as well, just because a lot of this sport is getting your name out there. So we say, or we check out your Facebook, your Twitter, see how many fans you have and followers you have.
Yeah, and there's a fan rating, and part of the process on MMA Draft is not only going to be about competing as an athlete. It's going to be about branding yourself. It's going to be about how to use social media. It's about how to build a brand, because that's the stuff that a lot of people don't even know is part of the game. I know very well about that aspect of it, but there's fighters that are in the UFC now that have no clue. If we can educate these kids and give them every chance to make a living out of this sport and to help navigate through the sport, then we're going to do it. And so we have a little aspect of are they building their fan base?
That's dope. That's sweet. That because right there, like you said, like who's going to teach them this? Who's going to tell? Who's going to teach them? Hey, you need to build your fan base. You need to get your good team together. You need to grow your numbers.
Right.
Yeah, about advice about management. Should I get a manager? Should I jump from gym to gym, or should I join a team? What discipline should I take serious first? And of course, there's variations of all that stuff. But we have articles on weight cutting. We have articles on all different stuff. We have Danny Boy Downs, who's a real educated, unique guy that fought in the UFC. He looks kind of like the anti-fighter, and he's
like me.
Yeah, quite a bit thinner actually, like, to a fault. And he's doing stuff for us. One of our college wrestling teammates, Mike Anderson, who's a real educated guy, he's doing some really cool coverage of different events and giving helpful hints, and we take a lot of suggestions. And one other thing that's really cool is what we do with Frank Trigg.
Oh, what do you do with him?
Yeah.
So what we do with Frank Trigg is we spotlight athletes, amateur athletes that we feel are going to do well in the sport or just accomplishing great things right now. We'll have Trigg come in via Skype. He'll interview him and just make them feel good.
Oh,
it's a very
it's like
cool
a real
experience.
professional setup, and Trigg's got a great name in the sport. Yeah. He's a great reporter on his own right, and so we have him talking to these future stars and just getting the lowdown from them, like asking them their backgrounds, getting deeper into who they are, so that we get like I said, a storied history of these kids. So we're always looking. If you're out there, hit up MMADraft.com and let us know that you'd want to be one of the featured athletes, and we can learn more about you. But
so if someone wants to go, they go to MMADraft.com, they start their profile, they start rolling like that, get involved with all their team.
Right. What's the verification process?
Yeah, how do they get verified?
So they get verified. You have to want to get verified first. They'll click a button, and then from there we'll have our scouts do a little research on them as well. First off, we got to make sure that it's them, and in most cases it is. And then all the results that they put on there, we'll actually go check.
So and this is a nationwide database, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
So and it hasn't gone. You're not out of the United States yet with it.
Not our database has not, but our functionality has. Right now, we're accepting people from Brazil and in Australia and the United States, but our database is only centralized in the United States right now.
Yeah, so you can look at you can go regionally and say, okay, I'm going to check out Kentucky, and you hit it and see which kids are where and what events are coming up and things like that. Yeah. So, and we're still building on this because it's a lot of content, so we're putting time and energy into building this content, and every person that signs up helps us out, so we have more to cut, drive through and look at.
Awesome. All right, well, thanks. We'll be back right now, and we'll talk more with Urijah Faber. Visit MMADraft.com. Get your name out there if you're a young fighter and you really want to be known, because, what they're doing is basically the future of the sport, and that's the best way to get known and to let your story be told. Thanks again. We'll be back with you in a few.
Okay.
Thanks, Tommy, for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having us.
All right, we'll be right back with some more Fight Logic. We are back here at Fight Logic TV with Urijah Faber, the California Kid, and Sammy Williams here hanging out with us. What's up, brother?
Just chilling.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. I'm having a good time. It's a Saturday. Getting ready for the UFC tonight. It's going to be fun times.
Be awesome.
So you met Sammy last time when he interviewed you down in Sacktown. It was good. It was a great interview. You guys, that was really good stuff. So today we're talking about we're going to talk about your nonprofit. We're going to talk about your clothing line. We're going to talk about your book and talk about what you've been doing. How you were on your last fight.
Okay.
Sam wanted to talk to you about your last fight. So go ahead.
So you got another win, 2 wins in a row.
Yeah.
This puts you at you're currently ranked number 2 in the world. It's got to feel good to be back in contention for that title. And is that what obviously that's what your eyes are on now. And you would be facing Barao again, obviously. So is there something that you're doing to get prepared for that, or?
Well, it's only been a week, so I've been hanging out, having a good time. But it was good to get that second win in. It's funny. It's just the smallest little incremental things that can decide a win and a loss at the highest level. And I just need to get in there and win. So whether it's Barao or Cruz, we may see those guys fight first before I get in there. But I'm ready, man, for whatever. And I feel great. The coaching staff out at Ultimate Fitness, my gym down there with Team Alpha Male is awesome. Dwayne Ludwig and Dustin Akbari and Fabio Prado and Justin Buckles and Lance Palmer and all these guys, Joe Guevara. It's just, our team's really coming together, and you can see it in the way we've all been fighting.
Nice. And I've watched other interviews with you, and it seems like more than it should be, it gets brought up about you retiring and things like that, and which I don't understand. You're obviously still an awesome fighter. You're young. You keep good care of yourself. Does that bother you, or is there any reason why you think they keep asking you when you're going to retire? Or
I guess because I've been fighting for 10 years, but I'm getting better. So I think they're just asking because they're supposed to ask questions. And I mean, what else are you going to ask? They've asked every single question over the last 10 years. They got to get some repeats in there. So I don't take it personal. I just keep it real.
So you've been doing it for the 10 years, right? And you feel like you're in your best condition now yet?
I would say, because of this sport, there's so much to learn. It's like if you don't stop learning, you're going to get better. And as long as your body's holding up, you're going to be a better fighter all around. So there's some things happen. There's guys that are not very good at taking care of their body, and there's guys that stop learning, and there's guys that take care of their body but stop learning, and there's guys that keep learning but don't take care of their body. And the best case scenario is you do both, and that's what I've done. I've been really lucky to have people that I'm always learning from, and I'm lucky to have my parents that taught me about a healthy lifestyle, and I've always taken that very seriously. I don't have any crazy vices. I'm not like a wild party animal, and I don't do anything that's detrimental to my health. So I feel great, man.
Well, so you got easy another 10 years. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
So what does your training day look like for someone that doesn't really know?
It just depends. Like right now I'm traveling a lot. So when I travel, I just find ways to work out, and it's usually once a day and just something active. I can shadow box, I can go run or whatever. But when I'm home in Sacramento, if I'm home, I'm training. And that means going to our team practice. We have morning practices, we have afternoon, sometimes evening practices, and I just do as many as I want. I think usually 2 to 3 a day. When I get closer to the fight, I actually tone down the training to let your body heal and kind of peak into the actual fights. But for me, training is a lifestyle. It's not like, yesterday morning I was up at 8 o'clock and I did a track workout with my buddy in San Diego, and I'm only 5 days out of my fight. So
you were in San Diego yesterday?
I was in San Diego yesterday. The day before that I was in Santa Barbara. 2 days before that I was in LA, and I just came straight from my fight.
Wow.
My buddies are actually driving an RV all the way across the U.S. to support the Sacramento Kings, and a childhood friend, and so he's like, "We're coming to Vegas. We're picking you up after the win." And so I jumped in. They're doing a little documentary and drove all the way through a sandstorm to the desert to LA, and then just had him drop me off, and I did a little couch surfing in LA, and then got picked up, taken to Santa Barbara, and then I jumped on a train from Santa Barbara to San Diego, stayed at my buddy's house out there. It's just been fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So with this, all this experience you have, is that the reason why you wrote your book? Because you want to just basically let all the young fighters, all your young fans know what you've experienced, or pass on that knowledge, or?
You know what? The book is something I kind of was doing for myself. I actually was asked to write an article in 2008 for Fight Magazine about. It was going to be about anything. They said, just write an article about something. You pick the topic. And so the topic I chose was how to raise a champion. And I've never had kids, but I feel like my parents did a good job. And so I also was a human development major at UC Davis and has been really introspective on my life. And the book was me starting to write this article, and then I never really stopped. I started, the whole idea was, you don't get to choose what your kid's going to be a champion at. You just show them love and support and give them help. When you figure out something that they like to do, every single time you give them as many tools you can to do what they love, and just be supportive and good parents. And so I started writing about that, and then I worked on it for a couple of years where it just was becoming a book. And so I eventually got a manager, and I told him, I've been working on this book for a long time, and I had like 100 pages of it done. And he hooked me up with a book agent, and then with that we got a ghostwriter who took all the things that I had and structured it out. And in 27 days, he just wrote the book out. And then it was a huge process of editing and stuff like that. But it's all about following your passion. It's motivational stuff. It's some really funny and interesting and some sad stories of people I know, my own life, and some lessons that I've taken from it. So it's pretty cool.
I read parts of it, and you talk about how being how passion is so intimate, like it's such an intimate or personal thing, and not to let other people kind of affect what you're passionate about or give their opinion or stray you away from that. Is that something that's happened in your own life? Where did you ever have a time where you were kind of doubting the things that you were passionate about, or?
Well, I mean, it's. Everybody has their opinion, and people always think that their own opinions and belief systems carry over to everyone else. And just really talk about being your own person, figuring out what you like to do and finding ways to surround your whole world with things that you love to do. I know a lot of people that I went to school with that I've known throughout time that spend, 8 hours plus a day doing things that they don't like to do to save a little bit of time and make a little bit of money to do something that they do want to do once a month or once a year or at the end of the day. And it's just, you only live once, and there's no time to be doing crap that you don't want to do.
Right.
So that's kind of what my book is about. And there's all sorts of different things in there about all sorts of different cool lessons and things that are pretty unique, I think, and just makes people think about their own lives and decide what direction they want to go, and gives them a push in the right direction. So it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, you could tell just by when just talking to you, hanging out. It's like you're very positive and motivational. So that's good that you're, letting your love out and letting other people kind of feel. Because, like you say, the good, good support, good love. It's like, hey, you can push your dream, and you should be doing what you want to do, not 8 hours of something you don't want to do.
Right. And people are required to do that because you have to live also. But I feel like my book gives some helpful hints on the mindset to get out of that rat race and get into the things that you love. And it's also got some really cool stories in there, fight stories. It's got me getting kicked out of college stories. It's got some stuff about my family and some hardships that we've had growing up. And I think the real theme of the book is following your passion, but also about being introspective and taking your own life and trying to make it better and make it better and make it better.
That's good. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely want to read this. So I want to talk about, like you say, your passion, love, and helping. You have a nonprofit going on. What is that?
Yeah, we've just started out, and what happened is I have a gym out in Northern California in a place called Point Arena, California. There's like 480 people, and I've met some really cool people out there. And one family in particular is the Glover family, and it's it's a real unique setup out in Point Arena, and it's a real close-knit family. But they have a very, very special needs daughter named Gracie, and she's, everybody loves being around her, but she needs severe assistance, with daily living. And I actually, in my book I talked about my brother. My brother has some special needs. As a 21-year-old guy, he had a breakdown, and it's been taxing on our family as well. So this nonprofit is called the Grace Project, and what we're doing is we're providing vacations for families that have special needs people in their lives. So it's rare that somebody that has somebody who's special needs gets to actually take time and take a vacation and go somewhere and have like a meaningful family experience, because there's so much to do on just the day-to-day living things. And so I've seen this with Prometheus and Ty. That's Prometheus is my partner who started this thing, and with their daughter, I mean, they have to, when she goes to the bathroom, they're there. She can't speak, she can't communicate. Feeding her, there has to be someone with her at all times. She can't move on her own. So it's really taken over their lives, and they got the idea because they came to watch one of my fights in Las Vegas, actually when I fought Dominic Cruz for the second time, and they said it was such a moving experience to be able to go, and they planned the whole thing out and were really thought out about the process, and they really felt like it gave them a huge break and was an awesome experience, and they wanted to give that to other people. And I know my mom and my family, we actually have a guy on our team, Devin Johnson, who is paralyzed, and it's a big taxing thing for his family as well. And there's so many people out there that are giving all their time and energy, and so this is a cool project to give them something back.
So if someone wanted to go and donate or help out, what's the website?
TheGraceProject.net is the website, and basically we take all sorts of donations. People can donate timeshares. If they have a vacation home, if they have something that is anything really that we can help add to a vacation experience. If they have frequent flyer miles, anything in addition to money or things like that. And we're going to start really creating some experiences for families that need it.
Awesome. If you guys are watching at home, make sure, especially if you're just sitting on a timeshare or just have some time and you want to donate, make sure you donate to that, because that is some awesome stuff. I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's in my family too, and it's like everyone. Family. And you see it, it's like you said, it's taxing, it's hard. So we only got a few more minutes, so I want to talk about your clothing line too. Let's talk about your clothing line. So
our clothing line, and this is a brand that we've shotgunned into the limelight, which has been awesome. I've got a great partner, Scott James. He's actually the guy that started BSN, the supplement company, with No Explode and all that kind of stuff, and sold that, but loved the MMA space. And so he started Torque Clothing and Apparel. We've got equipment now. We've got boxing gloves and MMA gloves and shin guards and all that kind of stuff. But the brand is awesome, man. We're sponsoring a lot of fighters in the UFC, and starting to get the equipment out to everyone. Everybody's loving it, and the website is torque1.net, so if you get a chance to check that out, we've got some cool stuff.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Time goes way too quick when you have it here, because we always have a lot of stuff to talk to. Next time you come down, make sure you come visit us here.
I love it. Hey, thanks Fight Logic for having me on. I love the show. You guys are great dudes, and the interviews are always awesome.
And I do definitely, next time we go down to Sacktown, you're going to have to put me in a little workout or something.
Oh, yeah. Let's get into it. Let's make this man puke.
Yeah, I want to puke. That's our goal. I want to puke. All right, well, thank you, Uriah.
Hey,
thanks for hanging out with us.
Great having me. Great having you.
By.
All right, so I'm Juan, this is Sammy, this is Uriah Faber. You're watching Fight Logic TV. Visit us our website, fightlogictv.net. And also hang out, check us out on Facebook, The Science of Combat. And thanks for viewing us and watching us again. Remember, as I always say, and what he says, do what your dreams tell you, and make sure that you make yourself happy that way. All right, guys, you're watching Fight Logic.